back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we're going to be going over two of the Falcons' best offensive years. We're going to be going over the 2012 offense compared to the 2016 offense. And basically, once we're done looking at all the stats, we're going to see which one, in the better opinion, was the better offense. Now, there are different factors when it comes to this because the 2016 option, we had a lot more weapons. We had Devontae Freeman, we had Tevin Coleman, we had a whole bunch of wide receivers, Sanu. We had, I think it was Taylor Gabriel. So we had a decent amount of weapons compared to 2012, even though 2012 we did have some weapons too. But when it came to running backs in 2012, we didn't really have like the capable running backs we had in 2016. So I personally think that the 2016 offense is the best Falcons offense, but you guys can let me know in your opinions down below who you think is the best offense when it comes to the Falcons. But let's get into the stats real quick of the 2012 offense. Then we're going to take a look at the 2016 offense, and you guys are just going to see how I think the Falcons' 2016 offense is. So, in 2012, Matt Ryan's fourth season in the NFL, he had 422 completions in 615 attempts. He played 16 games, started 16 games, so he started every single game. I'm pretty sure he's basically started every single game for us since he started his Falcons career, which was in 2008. Can't believe that. It's been 12 years since Matt Ryan got drafted by the Falcons. He had 4,719 yards. He had 32 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's a very, very good year. Now, keep in mind on what I just said when it comes to the 4,719 yards, because that was Matt Ryan's third best season in terms of passing yards. I'm not sure about touchdowns, but I know it's his third best season when it comes to passing yards, because I know 2016 was his best year in passing yards, but we'll get into that later. The running back for the Falcons at the time was Michael Turner, who is retired now. And he had 222 attempts when it comes to rushing. He had 800 yards. He started 16 games, played 16 games. He had 800 yards, and he had 10 touchdowns. So even though he didn't rush for a lot of yards, he still got a lot of touchdowns. So you can kind of say that's a very good year for a running back, because running backs usually get around that average 10 to like 15 touchdowns. So that's a very good yards. When it comes, very good amount of touchdowns, but when it comes to yards, that's not really that much. So Michael Turner, he had an okay year. But then our two best wide receivers at the time, you guys already know who they are. They are Roddy White and Julio Jones. Julio Jones was just in his, second season in the NFL? Or his first in the NFL? Because it was his second season in the NFL. Because he got drafted in 2011. And he had 1,198 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 79 receptions. That's a very, very good year from Julio Jones. Now, keep in mind on what I just said when it comes to touchdowns for Julio Jones, because we're going to get into that later on in this video. Roddy White, our best wide receiver at the time, who was retired, I got to give him props. He was a very good Falcon for us, so I like Roddy White, so I'm going to give him full props. He had 92 receptions, 1,351 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he had more yards than touchdowns, but the other one, Julio, had more touchdowns and less yards. So you can kind of see how that differs when it comes to yards over reception over touchdowns, and then touchdowns over receiving yards. So that was the 2012 Falcons offense. Let's get into what I think is the best Falcons offense, which is the 2016 offense. Matt Ryan, 16 games started, 16 games played. So he played every single game. He had 373 completions and 534 attempts, which means he had less completions and less attempts than he did back in 2012. But of course, we had a whole lot of things. And Matt Ryan, remember you guys, he was just in his fourth season. 2016 was almost his 8th season. So it's 4 years down the line. So that's a lot different. But when it comes to his passing yards, he had 4,944 yards, almost a 5,000 yard receiving, 5,000 yards passing. And not many quarterbacks have been around that 5,000 passing yards in the past couple of seasons. So that was really, really impressive for Matt Ryan to do this. He had 38 touchdowns, which is 6 more touchdowns than he did back in 2012. So Matt Ryan had a better year than he did in 2012. Well, besides the completions and attempts. But that's just a part of saying why I think the 2016 offense is better than the 2012 offense. Devontae Freeman, our best running back at the time, he had 227 attempts, which means he had 5 more attempts than Michael Turner did in 2012. He had 1,079 yards, and he had 1 more touchdown than Michael Turner in 2012. He had 11 touchdowns. So he did have a good amount of yards, and he had a good amount of touchdowns. So Devontae Freeman had a really, really good year. Of course, our backup running back was Tevin Coleman, who is playing for the 49ers right now. Devontae Freeman, I'm pretty sure, is still a free agent. Not really sure about that. And then our best wide receiver at the time, you guys already know him. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. His name is Julio Jones. Back in 2012, like I said before, he had 1,198 yards, 79 receptions, and 10 touchdowns. 2016, he had 83 receptions, so he had 4 more receptions than he did back in 2012. He had 4 less touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns. But, of course, we had a lot of receiving options, and Julio Jones is more of a person who gets a lot of yards and gets a lot of touchdowns. That's what people have said about him before. I remember people talking about him when it comes to that. But his receiving yards went up from 2012. He had 1,409 yards as a receiving guy. That is really, really impressive. And I think it was either 2015 or 2016 that Julio Jones finished second in the most receiving yards in the season, behind Megatron, of course. So Julio Jones is definitely one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But you look at these stats that I just explained to you, and you look at the offense that we had. Our defense in 2016 was really, really young. Our defense in 2012 was very, very decent. So, if in terms of this offense, when it comes to the 2012 offense and 2016 offense for the Atlanta Falcons, there's only one simple choice here. And the best offense for the Atlanta Falcons is the 2016 offense. There's nothing else to say. Matt Ryan's second best year, I'm pretty sure, was 2017. 2017. It was either 2015 or 2017. That was his second best year in passing. And his third best year was 2012 under the offense. Kyle Shanahan was our offensive coordinator in 2016. 2012, I think it was like Derek. I think it's actually the guy that we had now, or it was either Mike Smith doing offensive coordinator. I don't really know who it is, but I want Kyle Shanahan's offense. There's nobody that can dispute this. The Atlanta Falcons offense was the best under Kyle Shanahan. Why do you think the 49ers hired him? The 49ers hired him because he did so well as offensive coordinator. And look what he's done with the 49ers offense now. Look what he's done with this 49ers offense. You can't tell me any other offense was better than 2016. Because if the offense wasn't good as it was back in 2012, then Kyle Shanahan would probably be our still offensive coordinator right now. So, yeah, 2016 offense for the Atlanta Falcons was definitely the best one. And I want to know your guys' opinion down in the comment down below. Which Falcons offense do you think it was better? Do you think it was 2016? Do you think it was 2012? Or do you think it was a different year? Probably 2017 or 2015. Because right now, I don't know what's going to go on with this Falcons offense that we lost Kyle Shanahan. It's been about 2 or 3 years since we lost Kyle Shanahan. I'm missing him because that offense was just so good. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.